Greetings, YouTube. Ronnie Bradley, another member of the YouTube RPG Brigade, did a video recently about one woman's blog post concerning her experiences of sexual harassment and sexual assault in the tabletop role-playing game community. And it was tough to watch, and the article was tough to read, and I'll try to remember to link to his video and to the woman's post as well. And one of the things that was most disturbing to both Ronnie and myself isn't just what she said, because that in itself is disturbing. It's that there were a whole lot of people reacting more negatively to what she said than the topic at hand. That she said it at all. They were aiming their ire at her and not the atrocities that were committed to her and to other women when they have entered the tabletop role-playing game community, and also both traditional miniatures and then games like Pathfinder or Hero or Savage Worlds or what have you. And just this outpouring of vitriol towards this woman for daring to discuss this and daring to talk about it, and attacks on her character and things like that. But I'm not going to cover the same ground that Ronnie did. He did a good job. But I am going to talk about my own personal experiences and observations in the tabletop role-playing game community when it comes to sexism and sexual assault. I'm not proud of the fact that I engaged in sexual harassment. Just to reminisce about those time periods and analyze them and break them down and realize how many times did I sexually harass my fellow gamers. Because it was a lot of times. And you could say, well, you know, you were younger and you didn't know as much, and that's no excuse. That's bullshit. If I didn't know at 14 that I should be treating people decently, that's a problem. And even though I was suffering and still am from mental illness, it doesn't excuse my behavior. So I can't use that as a wash. I sexually harassed women in the tabletop role-playing game community. And I was a witness to a whole lot more. And I was a witness to sexual assault. And I didn't do anything. I was a witness to women being groped at conventions or in private homes. And I didn't do anything. Someone on this topic, this particular article, it might have been on MetaFilter, was talking about the frame of mind that a lot of gamers have when it comes to their games. And a lot of the gamers have a min-max view of the world. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing to do. Getting the maximum effort outcome for the minimum effort is, to my mind, sensible. Nature does it. Why shouldn't we do it in games? But some people extend that to relationships. They want to put the minimum amount of effort into a relationship, get the maximum out of it, which is normally defined by our patriarchal society as sex, without actually engaging with the person that they're involved with for the sex. They want to win at relationships in the way they win at games. They want the cheat codes. It's where the pickup artist culture comes from. And so they've convinced themselves that if they play by the rules and they put enough types of kindness, decency tokens into someone, that eventually they have to pay out sex. I did this. Thankfully, I never got to the sexual harassment part of this. Like, my depression prevented that. But I treated women nicely in the hopes that I would end up in a relationship. I actually was looking for a relationship, not just sex. Because even at a young age, I figured out that while recreational sex is fun, sex in a relationship is a whole lot better. And I still stand by that. Nothing wrong with recreational sex as long as everybody's consenting and you're all being adults about it. But sex in a relationship is superior. But a lot of guys get to a certain point and they're not getting what they want, and so they get angry. And some just take it out verbally, talk about bitches and sluts and things like that because they didn't get what they wanted. I was nice to her, I didn't get laid. But some take it further, and they harass the women in general. They become assaulters, they become rapists, because they feel they were entitled to her sex. They want to win that game because they feel that the woman hasn't held up her end of the bargain, which is absolute bullshit. There was no bargain. Having a functioning friendship and relationship with another human being isn't a bargain. I had someone comment recently about, they were nice and all they wanted was a thank you in return. If you want something in return, if you're being nice to someone, you're not being nice. Unless you do something completely altruistically, you're not being nice. If you give a gift in the hopes you'll get one in turn, you're not being nice. If you think someone owes you a gift, owes you sex, you're not being nice. You're not being healthy. You're being destructive. And I've witnessed this. I've experienced it. I've done it. I know it exists. And how much you will gnash and scream and yell and say how horrible feminists are, it will never change my personal experiences, what I have done and what I have witnessed and what I know is reality. No matter how much that's going to upset some people, too fucking bad. We have a problem with this in our community. There are too many adolescents playing in adult games, thinking it's a game, going out there trying to win at sex and relationships. And when they don't get what they want, they get angry, and they harass, and they assault, and they rape. They make women uncomfortable in our hobby, to the point where they won't go into gaming stores, they won't go to conventions. And that, folks, when you limit someone's ability to do what they want in life, that's an act of terrorism. And that's what we've done. We have either actively or passively terrorized women to the point where they won't go into gaming stores, they won't go to conventions, where they write blog posts and they have to turn off comments for fear, where women are hounded, where their personal information is released to the world, where they're harassed in person, online, and all because some entitled child didn't get what he wanted. And we need to fix that. So, go read the article, go listen to Ronnie's video. Believe my words, even if you refuse to believe the words of someone that suffered these things. Because I'm a guy, there will be people that believe me over her. So believe me, it happens. It's occurring, and we need to stop it. There are times when zero tolerance really is the best policy.